without further ado, our first company, and they deserve a huge round of applause because they're going first. Please welcome Eric Larson with Rule 5 IO.
I have two slides. Anyways. All right, so thank you for the opportunity to introduce Rule 5. So sales is hard, right? Finding customers, acquiring customers, keeping them, growing them. Sales is hard. I know because I've been doing this a long time. And to really succeed, if there's one thing I've seen that consistently sets great from good, is to do the work. To do the homework, the hard work, to really know your customer inside and out. What are they focused on? What are their priorities? What are their challenges? How do they make money? How do they make profits? And how are they doing against their competitors? The more that you can know that, the more that you can show up, differentiate yourself, earn your seat at the table, and bring relevance and credibility. I've seen this work. I've been a sales and revenue leader at organizations like Oracle, SAP, Qualtrics, and I've seen this work. And I'm talking 7-figure income level of working. The people who do this consistently crush it, and it's the one common thread I've always seen among those who are constantly killing it, is they do this work. The problem is, it's extremely hard and time-consuming until AI came along. And that's why we built Rule 5. So we built Rule 5, sorry, there's Rule, that's me. So, here we go. We built Rule 5 to automate this process, make it easy for you to show up, speak the customer's language, present who you are and what you do in the context of what matters most to that person and that company that you are speaking with, to set yourself apart from all of the competitors. We have real products. We've got about a 2-year head start on AI. We were doing this long before it hit the headlines, building in generative AI. We have real customers, great companies like O9 Solutions, Workato, and Digital River, who are embracing this technology to achieve what I described. So we're here tonight to make friends, as Raj said. We're not actually raising right now, but we are interested to always meet revenue professionals who appreciate what we do. So if that's you or someone you know, we welcome an introduction. And the final thing is, as far as AI for good in our industry, I'm passionate about this profession because I've been doing it my entire career. I feel it doesn't always get the credit it deserves to sit alongside law, finance, accounting, and other great business professions. I think if everyone embraces what we do and brings it like they can, sales can be seen very much in that same pantheon of other professions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eric. What he left out in his lofty experience is that we know each other because Eric was my CRO 10 years ago.
By the way, I'll give you a shout out for that. By the way, I got to give a shout out. I love what Raj has done, like then and ever since. I mean, your passion, your commitment can be applauded.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to some questions. Haley, you first.
Who is your ideal customer that we can introduce you to?
Any revenue professional with a complex product and or customer.
Can you give me an example?
Let's see here, a company like Project 44 here in Chicago would be a great ICP, or ShipBob. So those are a couple that come to mind.
All right. Any other questions we have for Eric? Or comments or thoughts on Rule 5? Yes, Sam, in the back. You want a mic?
Now, is this more for like solo salespeople or big sales teams? Or both?
Great question. Definitely more for, it absolutely can bring value to an individual, but more for a larger team. So our ICP probably has at least 20 sales professionals and on up from there. Yes?
What's your go-to-market strategy?
Our go-to-market strategy is right now we are sort of focused on success for the customers that I mentioned, as well as several others who are in pilot with us. So I kind of think of it like a target. In the middle of the target is there are those who've already embraced this, make them successful. We have a lot in that next sort of layer out who are very interested, and we're engaging with them to kind of bring them into pilot, and then beyond that, we're doing constant, outbound and inbound demand gen, kind of your traditional channels.
Probably using your own product to do so, right?
Absolutely. We are.
Well, in the interest of time, we'll have to wrap this up. If you got a question, you can ask it afterwards when we go back into networking. Everybody give Eric and Rule 5 a round of applause. All right, next up on the Startup Grind stage is Martez Knox with BakedBot.ai.
Hello. See a few friends here. Bunch of new faces that I've never met. Tony, of course. Can't thank you enough for inviting me, and I know I got one of my team members here, Alex, as well. So, pleasure to be here. Imagine you open Spotify, right? You go to your favorite jazz station, but then Jay-Z and Beyonce starts to play, right? You're frustrated. You restart the app. This time, Afro Beats comes in, right? This is a lot how the cannabis market operates today, right? You log into the website, and there's no telling what you might get. Consumers have to wade through tons of strings to try to find out what they might need. Now imagine if there was a recommendation engine like Netflix that delivered tailored and curated cannabis products based on your taste profile. Meet BakedBot.ai. I'm Martez. My company, BakedBot.ai, is the engine that enables dispensaries to Netflixify their websites by delivering personalized cannabis recommendations based on whether you want to work, relax, sleep, study, and more. So there's no more guessing, right? With over 779 strains of cannabis in the market, our AI personalization tools help you get exactly what you need and quickly. So let's meet the team transforming the way cannabis is purchased. Of course, you have me, founder and CEO, Greg Jack Allen, co-founder and our chief revenue officer. Alex, she's in the building. Thank you. Head of product. Abdur Salini, he's our head developer. Robinson Cook is our consultant, very instrumental in the machine learning portion of our tool. And finally, we have Eric Balthazar, our head of marketing. Based on MJBiz data, dispensaries gross on average $2 million per year. What's exciting is our tool helps increase checkout transaction value by 20% on average. Right, so consumers are coming, maybe they start wanting the cheapest thing, right? Then they get delivered a product that actually matches something that's more closely aligned with their taste profile. Maybe it costs more, maybe it doesn't, right? The goal here, though, is to deliver a spot-on recommendation. So join us as we transform the way people shop for cannabis. We're looking for technical advisors and developers that want to join this future Canatech unicorn. We're not currently in a raise. We're bootstrapped, but we're looking for good people that want to be involved in something great here. Questions?
Round of applause, everybody.
So Martez, who's your client? Is it individual consumers, like people buying product, or is it dispensaries or MSOs? Like, who are you
Good question.
targeting?
Good question. So initially, we're targeting dispensary owners, but ultimately, in the future, we want to sort of be able to build a two-sided marketplace, which we know, coming out the gate, that's very, very difficult to do, right? So our focus is on helping dispensaries grow their revenues in a saturated marketplace. So for them, this is a no-brainer, being able to deliver products that consumers love and keep them coming back. Good question.
Would the idea then be integrating to already existing apps that these dispensaries have, for example, or are you proposing a new application altogether?
So, let's see if I can go back a bit. So, BakedBot lives on the dispensary's website, right? It integrates with their manual, and it's an inline sort of recommendation engine. So if you can imagine, you go to a dispensary website, this should be their flowers, right? And then BakedBot is an embedded inline plugin that sort of just plugs right in above the menu, so it doesn't distract or take them out of the checkout flow. It feels very natural and like, you know, it's supposed to be there. The closest thing that I can describe is Netflix, right? When you log into Netflix, the movies just seem to come to you, right? You don't have to dig through dozens of movies to try to find out what you like. Imagine if you did, right? If you somehow sat down at Netflix to start watching a movie and 30 minutes in, you're like, hey, I don't like this movie at all, right? You would have to go through like dozens of movies to finally find something that you actually like, right? So there's power in this, and a lot of folks don't even recognize that this is something that's necessary.
All right. Thank you, Martez. If you got more questions for him, he'll be sticking around and you can talk to him afterwards. Thank you, Martez. Round of applause. Next up to the Startup Grind stage, representing Melia AI, Daniela Morgan Pasquale-Baca!
Okay, thank you for that introduction. Let's find me. No?
Down arrow.
All right, I think is this not the down arrow?
Yes.
Yes, it is. There we go. All right, so this is actually, you're very lucky. This is the first time that I've ever pitched an AI pitch. Usually they're focused for different audiences and different industries. So you are the very first ears, other than my cat, to hear this particular pitch. So let's try it out. Let's start. Okay, so we are MelPetare, and we are building an ecosystem of digitally connected devices for dogs and cats. It's a bit of a very complicated tagline, so we're going to start from the beginning, and that is the first product that we ever created, an underarm thermometer for dogs and cats. We all know that when we take our beloved furry friend to the veterinarian and it's time to take their temperature, it's a very important vital sign to get from them because it can tell us a lot of things about potential diseases and other underlying health concerns. However, we also all know that that thermometer goes into a very deep and dark hole that nobody wants to talk about. It makes everyone uncomfortable, and so what if we had an underarm thermometer that didn't have to go into any holes? We made a device that does three things. It makes the lives of our dogs and cats a lot more comfortable. It makes the stress of our vet techs go down significantly. I worked at a vet clinic for 4 years, and I used to have a panic attack every single time it was time to take a pet's temperature. So this was like 20 times a day. And then 3, we're streamlining this data. So instead of writing it down and losing it, it's now going back to the health record automatically, and so it saves so much time and energy for vets so they can see more pets and save more patients. So you're probably wondering, okay, that is fantastic, right? This is a non-rectal underarm thermometer. Don't you have millions of competitors? Isn't everybody else doing this? How come there aren't, underarm thermometers in every single vet clinic? How come we're the only one? Well, that's because it's complicated. And that's where AI comes in. So we've been around since 2019. We've sold 1,000 thermometers, so they're out there in the market, and we know that they work. But how do they work? Well, when we first started the algorithm, we took millions of data records from Banfield Pet Hospital, which you probably know. What we did was that we weighed every single characteristic of these millions of pets. Size, breed, age, fur length, anything you can think of. And we got their core body temperature. And so now we have ongoing clinical trials at the University of Georgia, and they're comparing underarm thermometers, ours, to the gold standard rectal to give you the smartest version of the thermometer. And it's currently at plus or minus 0.5 degrees Celsius, different from rectal, but that number keeps getting better and better because we keep putting more data into there. And that's what the University of Georgia is doing for us, what Cal Poly Pomona is doing for us, and what the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse is doing. So what does that mean for the future of AI in the vet industry? Well, it means that we're really trying to create a comfortable environment for our pets. It doesn't mean that we're going to take every vet and replace them with a robot, but it does mean that we're going to have a pet that walks into a vet clinic, They're going to be automatically checked in. They're going to get a temperature taken that is non-invasive, non-rectal. They're going to take a quantitative body condition score, and all of the devices that we make and we are going to keep building will help everybody. And so vets can spend more time saving other pets and less time holding down a pet and trying to take their rectal temperature. And so yeah, that's what we're looking for, developers to help our hardware and our software, and this is the future of pet care. Thank you.
All right. Questions for Daniela? Haley?
For the 1,000.
More questions for her? Ask that afterwards. Need to do a, all right. Next up on the Startup Grind stage with Hyre AI, it's Sharonda Bird.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. Okay, so I guess I'll get started. So before technology, companies used the classifieds, faxes, and paperwork to source, recruit, and onboard talent. And this took tremendous effort, time, and resources, and it really created a problem for clients, or for companies. But then tech came, and tech was supposed to streamline everything, but it digitized it and exacerbated the problem, resulting in companies spending billions of dollars and using as many as 15 different tools, and that's just to source and recruit. That doesn't include onboarding and the rest of the talent management lifecycle. So enter Hyre AI, which is an AI-powered, all-in-one people management platform. We're here to disrupt the game by helping companies save money, time, and resources while streamlining their tech stack and enhancing candidate and employee engagement. So our product is one platform for employers, talent, and job seekers. And so you may ask us, how do we do it? And that's through AI. AI acts as a catalyst, helping us streamline processes, automate tasks to save time, and personalize the user experience. So Hyre AI isn't just about talent management. We are a data company. And so we leverage external and user data to train our machine learning and large language models to enrich insight and overall user experience. So our market, we operate in the talent management industry, which is a $1 billion market and is growing at a 12.6 compound annual growth rate. And the market is heavily fragmented. However, the largest share owner of the market owns 12%, which allows Hyre AI to enter the market and capture share. And Hyre AI utilizes a cloud-based SaaS business model, and so we generate revenue through monthly and annual paid tier subscriptions. Currently, we are a team of one, but I'm a Harvard graduate, and I have an MBA as of next month. I bring 10 years experience in the software and user experience optimization, as well as in entrepreneurship. So here's how you can help Hyre AI. We just recently launched our MVP that focuses specifically on the recruiting side of the talent management lifecycle. However, in order for us to achieve our vision, I need help. So I'm looking for full stack engineers, customer success managers, advisors, and introductions to recruiters and talent acquisition professionals at SMBs. Here's where you can reach me. Thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity to introduce Hyre AI to you.
I think the greatest flex of all time might be, we're a team of one, but I'm a Harvard graduate. All right, who has a question for Sharonda?
Yes, go ahead.
So you are a team of one,
Yes.
right? And how are you utilizing AI to support your operations?
Yeah,
And how are you doing it?
Sure. So currently in the MVP stage, I just use the no-code website to build the platform myself. However, as I bring on full-stack engineers, I will initially leverage open source resources or AI platforms, and then we're going to go on to custom code and use machine learning and large language models to infiltrate our platform. Yes.
I heard you mention that you work on a subscription model.
Yes.
Is that for the business side or also for the applicant side?
That's for the business side.
Okay.
For the job seeker side, it's free. Yes.
What kind of, this is interesting, I love it, by the way. What kind of tools do you see this integrating with in the future going forward?
So I expect to leverage not only this in the HR tech industry, but I will also go into education in addition to other markets. That's like future secret stuff, so.
All right, last question here.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Kind of what you're saying with HR. So is that primarily when you go to HR or staff agency of the departments?
Did everyone hear the question? What he asked was, wait, say it again?
No, I was saying initially would you go to HR of a staffing agency or HR of any particular company that you seek out, or are they seeking you out?
So that's part of our go-to-market strategy as well as our customer segment. So we're targeting recruiting and talent acquisition professionals. So we're going directly to the companies themselves. However, there is room for us to go to staffing firms and help support them in whatever capacity that they need, especially if it relates to our platform.
All right, give it up for Sharonda Burt with HireAI. Next up on the Startup Grind stage, representing Mercurial AI, it's Dr. Haley Titus.
All right, the first thing I'm gonna give you permission to do is take out your phone and snap a photo of this, and it will be there at the end as well. But there are 3 QR codes. You're welcome to glance at them while I'm talking as well, because I realize I'm the 5th talk, and maybe you're bored already. But hopefully you'll wait until the end. So I am the Chief Strategy Officer for Mercurial AI. We are a digital health company, and essentially our mission is to create the most effective treatment plan for every patient, every time. Ways you can engage with us now or later is to view our website, sign up for our newsletter, which is weekly, and I will tell you all about becoming a beta tester. So essentially, to synthesize this down very rudimentarily, healthcare stakeholders face challenges in managing enormous amounts of patient data in the electronic health record, delivering optimal care experiences, and this can be anything from their first touch point with a provider to receiving their treatment to follow-up appointments, and optimizing costs, which include all stakeholders. And just for this audience reference point, the patient is a stakeholder, the provider or the oncologist is a stakeholder, and the payer or the insurance company is a stakeholder. And so how are we making this better, accessible, and more efficient? So this managing patient data is a massive problem. Right now it takes hours to consolidate information for one patient. We can turn this into moments with instantaneous future queries with the currently set up electronic health records. This is massive. Our current MVP can do this without any FDA approval or clearance. We are currently working on delivering the optimal care experience in clinical pilots. I've mentioned cancer twice, but we are focusing on breast cancer to start. 1 in 8 women will end up with breast cancer in the globe, so I'm sure all of you are touched by someone you know. We do this by using AI and ML to incorporate not just the patient chart, but also genomics and imaging data. And this creates a personalized treatment plan for every single patient. When you do that, you optimize costs for all of the stakeholders because you are treating the patient with the right drug every time, the first time. No one has to fail something. And so this is a very quick glimpse at our dashboard, which I realize is quite busy, but I actually want you to focus on the 3 colored dots on the left. A provider would be able to look at this, and if you guys have Apple products, it intentionally looks very similar to an iOS app. The green, blue, and orange dots means that the data is in the system. So a provider could look at this, know that the patient chart has been pulled, know that they're waiting for genomics and imaging or have it, and then click a button that on the right will give them a treatment plan. This takes thousands of pages of patient data and synthesizes it into one summary. And the biggest point of this is it doesn't just spit out an answer of give the patient this treatment, it tells you why with trusted, vetted resources. So it tells you why their genomic profile suggested this, why their imaging profile suggested this, and all of their other patient data, and then it gives you the references and the drug. An average provider only has 15 minutes for a tumor board meeting, and this is incredibly crucial. Imagine now that you live in rural America and you don't have a top oncologist to go to. This actually levels the playing field for people who might not have the same resources. This is an added bonus. We realize that AI has swept the country, and instead of having unvetted resources that you're kind of guessing with online, and I play with those too, but for medical information, we want gold standard. We've actually created a chatbot as an added characteristic of our dashboard, where we use the American Cancer Association and other gold standard guidelines. This is a collaboration with Bast AI, and we're very excited to offer this as well. This is great for trainees who are in the medical program or fellows, but anybody could use this on the provider side. So again, our big ask is actually we want anyone in the cancer care team to sign up as a beta tester. We want you to play with our app. We want you to pull in patient data, use these summaries to see if they would fulfill what your requirements are for your tumor board, and use our chatbot. So if you know anybody on a cancer care team, please send them our way. And anybody else interested in our updates, please sign up for our newsletter or check out our website. We have a nice little 30-second YouTube tip of what's coming next. And of course, like every startup ever, we are fundraising. But please send us beta testers and I'll take any questions. Thank you.
What are your core barriers to adoption here?
Okay, and Raj actually had asked me to talk about kind of where we fall within the current spectrum. The current spectrum of AI right now really is trying to predict or diagnose. So a lot of the current AI says, you know, if there's imaging, yes or no, you might have cancer in that area. That in and of itself is a whole ball of wax, but there are great companies working on that, including Tempus. We come in later, where somebody has already been diagnosed, and right now there aren't anybody playing in that space. There are people playing in the patient data aggregation space, but no one really playing in how do we summarize thousands of patient data. And so our CEO, Dennis Trujillo, had a personal family member go through this experience of cancer and actually designed AI, ML, and the learning model to go through this, and we actually have IP on a specific learning method that allows us to do this predictive analytics and then tell you why, not just an answer. It's constantly being trained on new data and diverse data sets that are published to the National Institute of Health. So in terms of getting the data, the barrier is actually very low, but creating AI, ML, and then getting it to IP, we have a nice moat built around us. Yeah.
Good.
So this is a very novel, I think, the idea of actually giving the treatment out and maybe the plan for it. But I just want to know what is the metric for your precision on recall? Because I think that matters in the patient's life cycle.
Yeah, can you ask it one more time? What is our position in what?
Your metric in precision and recall, like how precise or
precision and yeah. So we're giving a percentile of how likely the patient is to positively respond, and this is just one example, but we actually give a short list because there are several therapies. We are not tied to any one pharma company, it's completely agnostic. And then the tumor board can actually discuss, based on their own history, what they agree with. And so for our initial pilot studies, how that will be run is actually blinded. We will run the program in the background. The oncologist will pick what they think is best. Then they'll come back to our data and say, we would have prescribed that, or yours is even better. And then we'll go to another scenario where then they actually use ours for their tumor board meetings. So that'll determine the precision and accuracy, but we have that number based on the 3 pieces of data that we're pulling in. Yeah.
All right, round of applause for Haley, Titus, and Mercurial. Our final showcase startup tonight, please welcome representing Blue Saturn, it is Anthony Santos. And let me give you the thank you head pulled up. I just remembered Martez, I forgot to switch over to your other one. My bad. Okay, I don't know if the clicker is going to work on this. Oh, sweet. Look at that technology.
Awesome. Pleasure to be here. I figured the best way to start is with some numbers. And to start, 3 months. That's how long it takes to hire one engineer full-time in a mid-sized or large organization. And the problem with that is that 30% of that ends up being bad hires. Whether it's due to fast or hasty decisions, they ultimately lead to over $1 million lost due to inefficient hiring. Whether it's because of making quick decisions, recruiting not having the right data in order to make these decisions. For whatever reason, the reality is that hiring in today's market sucks. takes way too long to source, vet, schedule, and get candidates through the door, only for a third of them to result in bad hires. And more importantly, candidates losing and going through the cracks as a result. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm Anthony, CEO and founder of Blue Saturn, and I've spent my whole career within the recruitment industry trying to solve this problem. And backed by a team that feels the same pain and is ready to take on this challenge. And our mission is to redefine hiring through an AI-powered co-pilot that will make hiring simpler. And the way we do that is by allowing companies to make better decisions at the top of the funnel. And how would we do that? It's better to show than tell. So I'll walk through this quick demo of what we do, whoops, and take the driver's seat as a recruiter to share how our co-pilot live would simplify the top of the funnel when it comes to application reviews. And as a recruiter, I have 22 applicants to review, and normally I would go through each of them one by one, take a look at their resumes, profile, etc. But now I don't have to. Because our co-pilot, I can select multiple candidates at once and allow the AI to do the long, tedious work that I would be accustomed to doing. And in just a couple of seconds, we do a semantic search of a person's resume, their public profiles, their portfolios, certifications, everything that I would be looking for as a recruiter, one by one, but all in a batch. And as you see here, they'll be stack ranked and be given a full matching analysis of why this person is the right fit for that said position. Now, something that would take hours for a recruiter would be done in under a minute with our software. And our opportunity is huge. Within the $40 billion HR tech industry, we intend to take 6% of that with 47,000 customers at a customer lifetime value of $42K. And as of the past 3 months when we started building this, we spent a lot of time talking to customers. Over 100 customer discoveries within organizations and recruiting leaders that have this problem firsthand. We've done plenty of demos of our proof of concept, and happy to say we have 15 of those companies that are excited to use our software. But if you don't believe me, this is live feedback exactly from recruiters and hiring managers that took a test drive to this and saw that their head was on fire because of the amount of applicants that they have to go through and how this is going to simplify the process for them. And that is all. And we're at a point now where we're just looking to share the story. So if anybody that you know, or if you're part of a recruiting organization that probably sees this firsthand, I'd love to have a conversation with you on how this could help.
Gotta love that one of the pieces of feedback was the recruiter saying, bruh, that is fire. Let me go around the room first. Perry, we'll go Perry first.
No, just one quick second. I just think you probably should.
Yeah, right on. Let me see if we have someone else first, Haley. Anyone else have a question? Yeah, in the back here.
Hi, great presentation, Anthony. My question is your platform live right now for, you said you have 15 companies on the wait list. Is it live?
So we're not live as of yet. We're doing a lot of internal testing for a proof of concept. Timeline in order to complete that is in the next 2 weeks. And by the end of this year, we should have our MVP live for people to actually use.
Let's do one more.
I can still ask, but I don't know.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if all of the roles that you are focusing on right now are technical, because I saw that the example you gave really pulled out, coding skills and things like that. But if you were looking for kind of an engineer that also lived in a consulting type of role, what is your AI set up to do in terms of pulling out skills, or that there are, I'm sure you have, a long history of things you look for, and just in terms of semantics of how they write up their results and things like that. How is it trained to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for the sake of the MVP, we figured to be very succinct with the technical aspect, but the model would work the same way with non-technical, or let's say non-traditional types of positions, in that for technical you have hard skills like the actual programming language and things of that nature. But there's also intangibles that you can look at, whether it's through a person's resume or through something they mention inside of their LinkedIn profile or publications that they have. So our goal, right, is to expand outside of the technical and start expanding into that with more data, of course, to be able to teach the model within reinforcement learning on what to actually look for.
All right, round of applause for Anthony and Blue Saturn. And another round of applause for all of our showcase companies tonight. Is our city doing cool stuff, or is our city doing cool stuff?